Yes, indeed, that was a good job. And one thing is for certain, non-boater there, Glenn Northcutt, he'll have his name on the scoreboard today.
What did he come off of?
Around that right there, that sweet guy.
Okay.
Well, as any competitive bass fisherman knows, and we know there are millions of you out there, scoring in the early moments of the event really relieves a lot of pressure.
Good job. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Well, there you go. Marty Stone, he can relax now because, as you surely know, the professional anglers do have a plan each and every day. And a good quick fish like that tells you, well, your plan may just be working.
Well, at least we're going to need a bag.
Makes you feel better. Get that first one in.
Get that first one. Get that skunk out of the boat right off the bat.
We had things kind of in a mess. I didn't know if I was going to get to that net or not.
Now I'll get hung up a time or two. Quit shaking.
Well, when our Walmart FLW field has been cut from 150 fishermen on the pro side down to 10, 150 on the amateur or non-boater side down to 10, and you're still one of the guys standing, you're bound to be shaking a little bit. And you see there Marty Stone get a jump start on the field. Today he'll be competing against the likes of Davey Hyde and Dwayne Horton, Randy Blockett, Robert Graham, Clark Wentland, Terry Bolton. Charlie Reed is in there, as is Jack Elwade. How about Shaw Grigsby? Of course, Glenn Northcutt, on the other hand, he'll know today who wins the $15,000 first prize on the non-boater side. Glenn's up against Jeff Putnam, Ronnie Ott, whom we saw win just a few weeks ago, Mink Cook, Boogie Atkins. How about those names? Timmy Horton, Henry Farmer, Quentin Stacy, Frank Free, and Pete Greger. Glenn Northcutt there from Midwest City, Oklahoma. Marty Stone from Kernersville, North Carolina, not too far away.
There he is. He ain't gonna keep. He ain't gonna keep.
Well, it could be that Stone and Northcutt are onto something here. We're about to find out for sure during the next hour. Tommy Sanders here again with Jerry McKinnis. And Jerry, I guess one of the defining moments from last year, the first year on the FLW Tour, was Mike Terry winning the Forest Wood Open here on Carr Reservoir. That big suitcase full of money. Boy. And he basically did it by coming up Nutbush Creek here and outsmarting everybody. But a year can make a lot of difference.
Oh, man, Tommy, I can remember him and David Fritz and several of the really prominent guys going underneath this bridge here, getting back in there this virgin water where no one had ever been before. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
There's nobody that can throw a curve at a fisherman better than Mother Nature.
They've thrown one this time.
A dandy. She raised this water maybe 9 feet. And boy, it's a different lake. As you can see, we've got water in the bushes, in the trees. And hey, you know how all the locals seem to do so well?
The North Carolina boys know where to go and throw that crankbait.
They know how to fish this particular lake, but this isn't that particular lake anymore. It's a new place.
And we've had a lot of guys who we haven't seen so much this year on the FLW Tour who are going to get out here and find a bunch of fish up in the bushes and possibly upset the whole field.
It's like most of us have been down here about a week practicing, and, the tournament was just like fishing on a whole new lake completely. Water levels were different, the cover's completely different. The fish are reacting to lures differently. So and that's the same thing today. I mean, today's just sort of like a practice day again.
Well, Randy Blockett seems pretty cool, calm, and collected there, but lots of things have to be going through his mind, as well as the other 19 anglers in this field as they leave Satterwhite Point. They left just a moment ago. Now they're making their choices on where to get a good start.
Which that's the reason I come over here on this side this morning, because I knew that sun was going to get on it first.
Right.
I was thinking about doing this like a second or third stop, but when I saw the way that sun was, I said we better get over here and hit it before it gets up on us bright. There he is. Oh, through the bait. Dadgummit.
Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Evinrude Intruder 150 with fit fuel injection. And by Citgo. Citgo says go.
Yeah, I think all week it's going to be riding. What did he say first? Something like cross the road day with you. Yep, dub day. And I said, well, I don't think he will.
Day number 3 is well underway. Those 10 boats are out there trying to make something happen. Even as we speak now, Jerry McInnes in that water, while we're doing the takeoff, looked like it just kept on coming up over the road we were standing on. And I guess it's got to stop at some point because this lake just about won't hold any more water. But what's the biggest single problem that presents to these guys?
Well, you know, whatever the water level is, these guys can usually adjust to it. But, man, when it changes every hour.
Oh, my goodness.
And then you've got fish that are trying to spawn, and they're, you think we're confused.
Oh, man.
Think about those poor fish. You know, they get up there in 4 foot of water, and they start to get things all ready to go, and then, bam, it's 7 foot of water. And so they move. I tell you what they're doing. They're hiding out in certain bushes, in certain depths, obviously. And these guys, whereas some of them, you know, some of them are figuring that out, but the next guy might have some problems. Might do good today. Tomorrow, that idea, that plan is just blown away.
Trying to talk Boogie into catching one back here. He don't want to cooperate. There you
Got it. Marty,
It's Robert Graham there in the front of the boat. Back of the boat is non-boating partner Boogie Atkins.
Robert was doing a little Cherokee dance, I believe, up on the front.
What that was. Jerry, are we just getting old, or are these guys just getting younger and younger? Boogie looks like a little kid back there.
Looks like he's 12, 14 years old, doesn't he? And you know what? I've watched him all week long, and you watch him today now. He really, really handles himself well in that boat. He's a good fisherman.
Lost one about 5 here yesterday, so. Oh, this is a bad luck tree. You're fast on that net. I don't know if I can be that fast when you hook up one.
Here it is, bud. All right. Here we go. Thank you.
That's a good start right there for Charlie Reed. We haven't seen Charlie Reed out here much yet this year.
Yes, I think this is our first look at old Charlie, and he does have a great start there, doesn't he?
Oh.
Did you see his partner jump on that landing net?
He must have had a little lesson before that.
I think all these guys are in the back of the boat really get after it and try so hard to help out. Hey, this water, as you can tell, is extremely high. I mean, the boat where Charlie's sitting is probably in 12 feet of water, and they're trying to flip in 6 feet of water, and that's pretty tough. On top of that, the fish are probably spawning.
Well, the water just keeps coming up, and the water temperature is rising all the time, and the fish are moving. Fish are moving to the banks, and I think these fish that are holding up right here at the edge of this timber are the ones that are just now coming into the banks since the water's warming up. They just haven't moved all the way in yet. They've stopped right here at the edge of the timber.
Pretty big crowd there. One of those David Fritz-looking crowds, Jerry.
Isn't it? Davy Height crowd, though.
Yeah, Davy's really been a hot property in the world of competitive bass fishing, especially in the past year or so.
And I think that, you know, like David Fritz and Denny Breyer and the other top names, the crowd really likes to go out and watch them. That's Jeff Putman in the back of the boat. Jeff was the top qualifier in the non-boating division, and Davy Height is on the board.
That's one. You always got to start with one. Thank you. Oh, be looking at my secret bait. It's a tube bait. V&M tube bait. Y'all got binoculars? That's all you get. It's always good to break the ice.
I reckon that is a good one. Look out there. That is a super fish, yeah.
This kind right there puts you in the top
Well,
5.
Stacy, back in action again, man.
You got yourself a good net man, you got a good place to fish, you got it made.
When Quentin goes into action, that's usually good news for Charlie Reed.
Yeah.
Boy, just think about it. His first 2 fish are in the 3, 4. This may even be a 5-pound fish. This is a dream come true for a fisherman, and Charlie is fishing the outside of this timberline.
This is non-boaters' final day, championship day for the amateurs, and the pros going for the top 5.
I can make the top 10 with that one fish right there in a limit. I bet, I mean, the top 5. I think so too. I sure do. But we don't know for sure, do we? But that's the kicker you got to have.
Yeah, to do anything like this, you got to have that kicker. Good fish, man.
Marty Stone, along with Charlie Reed and that other boat we saw just moments ago, have gotten off to good starts here on our 3rd day of competition. Please remember, though, that we're only covering 5 of these 10 boats that are out there fishing today. There can be some surprises. There's some great fishermen we are not seeing today, guys, the likes of Dwayne Horton, Shaw Grigsby, and Jack Wade.
And we are in a tremendous lake, aren't we? I tell you what, all these guys just rave about Kerr Reservoir. And as we watch Marty hook up again, boy, he's got a good start, doesn't he?
He absolutely has.
You hear these guys talk about this lake, though, and they just rave about it. And you know what? You very seldom ever see a 7-pound bass in it. You know, a 6-pounder is kind of hard to come by. But the fish in the 2 to 4 pound range, which is so important to a tournament fisherman, man, that's what they're after. And this lake is absolutely full of fish that size.
This is a 30, 40-year-old reservoir, and of course they all do good right when they're first built, and then they have a second wind. And I've heard a few of them talk about this being sort of the 3rd wind for this one. In the past 5 years, those numbers of those good fish have just gone up and up and up.
48,000 acres of water, Tommy. Glenn has finally scored, hasn't he?
Glenn Northcutt on the board.
Oh, no?
That's a good fish.
No.
No.
He got to see that one a little bit.
Oh, man.
Was your drag tight?
It wasn't tight enough.
Jerry, we had a nice conversation with Randy Blockett before we got started here today, but the good thing about the FLW Tour is we can keep bothering these guys.
Yeah, all day long.
We can keep talking to them while they're fishing out on the water.
And Randy had lots of great things to say.
Randy, you don't mind talking while you fish, do you?
No, not at all.
Well, I understand that you really haven't been to this place where you fished the majority of your fish in the past few days.
No, I haven't been here ever in my entire life. I sort of got pushed out of the area that I'd been fishing. There's a couple of really big tournaments on the lake this weekend, and everybody's practicing up there. And that may be for the best. I mean, you know, I'm in fresh water. I sort of got an open mind about everything now. And as soon as I got here, I caught a real nice keeper. So the move paid off, you know, just trusting your feelings and acting on them.
Would you relax a little more?
Yeah, and you know, the main thing about it, Jerry, you're going out there and you're trusting your own feelings and your own judgment. And, you know, I found so much in tournament fishing that if you feel like you're in the wrong water or the wrong area, you better make a move, because most of the time that's the correct assumption. So when I got down here, it immediately felt good. There wasn't hardly any boats in the area. You know, the water clarity's, you know, what I'm looking for. The cover's really good. And I caught that fish right off the bat. Now, you know, that may be the only one I catch, or I may catch 20 today, but, you know, it paid off right off the bat anyway.
What would feeling bad mean to you?
I think, you know, a lot of people that have fished know when they get into an area, they just sort of feel like they're going to catch one. It's sort of something intuitive almost. And a lot of times when you're in the wrong type of water, it just feels like you're fishing too fast and you're trying to cover water and you're looking 50 foot up ahead the bank instead of just concentrating on the cast. And that's usually a good sign to tell you that you need to either, you know, adjust your technique in that water or change water completely.
And do you do it pretty fast when that happens?
I'm learning to more. I mean, it's taken me 10 years of doing this full-time for a living to be able to, you know, act on it when I first get that feeling. And it's something I still have a long way to go with.
Is there any rule of thumb you can go by when the lake is out in places it hasn't been in a long time? Should you fish faster, fish slower?
Well, you know, right now the fish are changing every day because the water level's changing and the water clarity. I mean, you're getting a lot of murky water out of the back of these creeks that are pushing farther out. You know, the fish, they're wanting to move up to spawn, but, you know, with the high water level, you know, they're just sort of holding off because if they try to do it, they're going to get covered up. So it's sort of something every day, something's different. I mean, I plan on, you know, probably catching fish different than I have the entire tournament today out of different water. So I'm just really trying to get bit by a couple key fish to sort of let them tell me what I need to be doing and looking for. There he is. Come on, stay on there. Nice one here. Thank you.
Good fish, yeah.
And that's just after I had one about probably 5 pounds come up on my floating worm over there. So it just seems like there's some pockets you can pull into and you get a couple bites, but if you pull into one, it's like there's not a single fish in it, but if you get a bite, you usually get a couple out of it. I would have liked to have that last one though. About a 3 1/4.
I think that's one of the key fish he was talking about there, Jerry.
Boy, you darn right it is. And again, I want to point out that this lake is just full of 2 to 4 pound bass, and a 3 pounder to a competitor is the perfect. It's the fish that he's after.
Fish are really down at the base of those bushes. I mean, they're extremely tight to the cover. If you don't get it right at the base, you'll never get a bite. It's a pretty frustrating way to fish because you've got to fish it so slow to get it down there through the limbs with the flipping technique. You can't cover a lot of water. I mean, it's like you can get into an area that you can just see and you can spend all day long there because everything looks good. But if I can just get 3 more hits like that, I'll be happy for today.
Probably need to change up to a smaller blade when I'm too stupid to do that.
Robert Graham there from Mooresville, North Carolina. Ordinary conditions, we'd see a lot more North Carolina guys in this top 10 today. We only have 2, Jerry.
Yeah, he's still in there.
Hey, did you see how quick Boogie was with that rod? You know, I told you earlier how well he handled himself. I'm really impressed with this young man.
Well, he's got a little bit of trouble here, it looks like.
He's got some trouble. You know, every time they hook any fish on this lake right now, he has a good chance of getting in the brush. Yeah. Boogie is doing the right thing, though. By gosh, look, he really didn't panic. He's not doing a lot of jerking. He's just keeping the fish tight. And boy, there you have it. Most times, if you will do that,
thank you. Hey.
The fish will get out of trouble himself. Whereas if you go to jerking and pulling and messing around, you can break off or really mess it up.
Boogie Atkins, good kid from Virginia, Greenville, Virginia, who was eaten up with the sport of competitive bass fishing. He'd rather fish than talk, I think, but we did pry a few words out of him yesterday.
Well, some say I'm crazy, and when I tell them that I win a little bit of money, they're all excited and want me to take them fishing and stuff. But when I take them fishing, we don't catch any. They say, "Oh, you suck," and you ought to quit and stuff like that. But pretty much, they're kind of excited. I'm 21. I'm from Greenville, Virginia. Like, I didn't fish Red Man when I was 17, which was about 5 or 6 years ago, but I fished tournaments, you know, with my dad, just, you know, old enough to, you know, throw, you know, he'd take me with him. And I just wanted to try just to, you know, learn a little bit more about the lakes and, you know, how the pros go about finding fish. And I've learned a lot. Still haven't learned enough, but, you know, I'm learning, you know, as it goes, and hope I can keep doing better and better. And, well, my entry fee was $200, and by the time, you know, you pay for your gas and stuff like that, you know, which I live about 3 hours from here, so it's a little bit closer than you follow, but it'd probably take, you know, $100 in gas and then your motel room, so you're probably looking at, you know, $300, $400, you know. It costs a good bit to fish, you know, but, you know, a couple lucky cash, you can win it all back, and hope that's what I can do tomorrow. You know, ever since I wanted to get out of school, it's all I've wanted to do is, you know, get on a tour, and I've been trying to save money up, but like I said, I've get into other things, you know, and, you know, just haven't been able to save my money up enough to get in it, and I figured this would be a good chance, you know, to you know, win a lot of money, you know, which, you know, is a good tournament for it, and, you know, save it up to where, you know, next couple of years I could, you know, fish the pro side. But I was hoping I'd do good today so I can afford to go to, you know, Kentucky Lake, and it's looking good so far.
Tell him, Boogie, that's what I caught 5.9 yesterday. I don't want his brother, I want his sister. Sisters tend to weigh more. I got 3 of them, 3 sisters. I know.
I don't know if I'd have said that.
Oh, my.
I wouldn't expect to get invited to Christmas dinner at my sister's house if I said something like that.
I can't get over that. Look at Boogie get up there in front of the boat with that net.
Oh.
Hey, you know what? These guys are fishing a little bit different than the other guys. They're not as deep into the timber. They're fishing out on some sunken brush, actually.
That's what talking about your sisters will get you.
If you want to do it, go ahead there, Mr. Graham.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, they're not up in that brush. They're a little farther out on the point, Jerry. And I guess the bass are sort of all out in there at all depths,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
all the shallow depths, right?
You know, the bass are all over the place. It's just finding them. There's so many places for them to be that you know, you really can't pick out a great pattern. Boogie's flipping now. And I think that's a pretty good idea. You know, his partner in the front of the boat throwing a spinnerbait's covering lots of ground, and Boogie's back there just trying to take his time. He's actually fishing about an 8-inch lizard, I believe, and he's trying to drop it in some places that his partner has missed.
A little tough sledding so far for Davey Hyde after 31-14 in the first 2 qualifying days. Even tougher for his partner, Jeff Putnam.
He'll miss one after a while. Maybe I'll catch it. I don't know. That's good. And maybe he won't miss one after a while.
That's 2.
Well, 2 fish for Davey Hyde. He is 32 years old from Prosperity, South Carolina.
Y'all's eyes are pretty good from out there. I'm holding him and I have to measure him.
Yeah, Danny's spectators are trying to outguess him. I believe they're about a block away. And
all right, now you can't catch one. I'm gonna have to retie. My partner caught him one yesterday while I was retying. I made him throw him back.
Did you?
4-pounder.
Well, you might be pretty hard pressed to make me throw one.
You're a little bigger than he is, though.
Yeah, I should have asked the all-important question yesterday is how well your partner done.
He captured 2.
Well, that'd be all right.
Well, also fishing near the mouth of Nutbush Creek, we got Robert Graham and Boogie Atkins. And Robert, I talked to you yesterday. You seem really loose and having fun and ready to go. Is that because you're the man who knows where all the fish are on this lake?
I don't know if I know where all the fish are, but anytime you can get out here and fish for $100,000.
Got to make you happy, doesn't it?
Man, ain't but 10 people. I just thought about last night. Ain't but 10 people in the whole world getting an opportunity to do this today. So,
hey, well, Robert, Tommy was telling me that he thought that, according to you, you were the best-looking guy amongst those 10 and needed more airtime.
There ain't no doubt about that, Jerry. You should, you know, you seen them all yesterday.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart, always low prices, always. By Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Fixed Fuel Injection, the best of all worlds. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Been rotating a couple different lures. I've been flipping a lizard and a jig and a crawdad and, you know, quite a bit of different stuff. It doesn't really seem to matter. The bait's not as important as just keying in on these birch trees right now. It seems like that's where the fish are at. And they won't come up for a bait in the birch trees, but they'll come up on a bait out of the gum trees. And I'm sort of waiting for this afternoon for those fish to start suspending around those gums in the back of these pockets, and I think I've got a chance on catching a couple good ones on a floating worm when I come to that stuff.
Dang, you better go right.
He's on there. No. All right. Whew. Yeah. Now, 90% of the time you lose them when that happens.
Randy Blockett on the board again. It's a good day for Randy so far. The pros seem to be catching most of the fish today, Jerry.
Yeah, and that kind of surprises me, Tommy.
I guess
Normally,
I got the hook set in before that.
if they were flipping, say, 3, 4, maybe even 5 feet of water, they can cover the majority of the water all by themselves. But when you start talking about 6 and 8 and 10 feet of water, the guy in the back of the boat ought to be catching a few fish because Randy can't cover it all. He can't drop that bait on every single spot that a fish would be. So, doggone, these pros need to kick it in gear, don't they?
It seems like right now you can pull into these little cuts, and there'll be little stretches where the birch trees are really thick, and that seems to be where they're at right now. I'm just hoping, I've never been in this area, so I don't even know if there's more stuff like that, but I'm gonna be looking for it.
Don't get back over there, you son of a buck. Okay, partner, he's gonna try to jump, it looks like.
Oh, that's a good fish.
I know it is.
Oh, gosh, yeah, you getting right now, Charlie.
That's top 5.
Yes, sir.
That's top 5.
You there, I say, bud. I'd say you there now.
That's another.
Oh, sure.
Charlie Reed and his partner Quentin Stacy there, they seem to be fairly well convinced that Charlie will be around with us next week fishing in the final 5. And I think they're right. He's looking mighty good.
It's nearly as good as that other one. It's close to 6. Have you been on that right in there?
Inside there, a little bit back to this side of you.
If you don't get on those 2 trees right there, I'm going to whoop you.
I would take that advice. Charlie has been going so good today. He has been super successful. Take that advice.
I fished my first tournament in 1958, but it was what we called a rodeo then. It was a gar rodeo. JC's put it on down in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and I fished it. And had it won, I thought, at 127 pounds. And
that's a pretty good day's
one
catch.
fish. But oh boy, the 128 pounder beat me. That's the story of my life. And that was the first tournament I ever fished, and then I went a few years before I ever fished anymore. But I haven't been doing this all that long. As far as fishing professionally, I didn't start till I was 50 years old. I wanted to wait till I could afford it because I knew it was going to be expensive. I think this FLW bit it's the best thing to come along in years. Well, it's the best thing to come along. I can't help it. There's some pretty good deals out there, but when you're out here fishing for $100,000, let's face it, that's exciting. And I can't see nothing but just getting better. The people are doing a heck of a job with it, and I don't know anybody that's dissatisfied with it.
Him?
I gotta catch a fish right now. golly, Moses, I let him in the willow.
Oh, you gotta get that big line hold of that.
That line will hold him if the dang trolling motor to get me over. He's way up in there, too.
You get mine out of the way here.
Oh, man, is he up in that mess? I seen him flashing way in there.
Flush him into that willow and then catch.
Bud, come on up here.
Oh, I see the fish.
Yeah, I do, too. But I see him in there deep.
Oh, he's a big fish, too.
Yeah, he's a big fish.
Hold him right there.
Okay.
Hold on to it.
I got him. I got him. Oh, yeah, you're a good man. Let me get a little loose line here.
Here's your hook.
All right. Hang on, I'll get him, son. You're all right. That's a good 4-pound fish right there.
Throw them a what? Throw it down the floor up there, don't
I guarantee you that will fish in the top 10 right there. I mean, the top 5.
That'll get you. Yeah, believe you could save that one. Got you a little one. Yeah. Save that until tomorrow.
Going to fish for 100,000 now.
He's putting it in the right place. I can tell you that.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Knows what to do with it for old man. Right?
See what?
I said you know what to do with them for old man. You're putting them in there, ain't you?
Well, as he continues to search and fish and catch plenty of fish, let us bring up right now the fact that Charlie's wife, Voga, she is quite the angler herself, and of course the person most responsible for keeping Charlie's nice career going right now.
Voga and I are the only husband and wife world champions in the history of the sport. Uh-huh. Not many people know that. We don't run around talking about it much, but it's...
Well, I haven't fished the women's circuit in about 3 years, but we have a business back home. We have a land sales business, and I do everything in that.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Actually, I started fishing before Charlie did, so it was easy for me to give him all the support that he needed.
She's been world champion, angler of the year twice.
I won the women's championship in '84.
She's got more credentials than most men do.
Of course, he's one not to be outdone, and he came back and...
Next year, made the Classic, won the Classic, picked up enough sponsors.
He did it. He was 50 years of age, which is pretty old, I think.
And my wife was fishing at that time. She'd already won a Bassengal Classic.
You know, we're fishing, and I'll mention we need to try this, or this ought to work, and sometimes, you know, I come up with something just that works, that he hadn't thought of. So I guess it's true, 2 heads are better than 1.
Joyce, you got him some, well, say something about a net. By golly.
You're getting in a boat.
Who said I can't get to a net?
Good job.
Good net job there by Charlie Reed. I think some of Charlie's good luck is rubbing off on Quentin Stacy there.
And that's actually not Quentin Stacy, Tommy. That's Tony Bennett.
What?
It is. Did you not see? Did you not look at it really close? It looked just like Tony Bennett to me.
We could have played a trick on you then earlier today.
That dang Davy Hyde is so hot right now.
Oh, good. Get in here, baby.
Charlie Reed doesn't have to worry so much about the other fishermen right now. I think he's doing good for himself.
Oh, Davy.
I guess they're all concerned about Davy Height, though. Everyone talks about him. He's been so hot during the last year.
Davy's only been professional bass tournament fishing for about 4 or 5 years now.
Boy, he's made an outstanding run, hasn't he?
He has made up some ground.
Marty Stone and Glenn Northcutt. Now, what have they got themselves into? Wait a minute, Tommy. What's going on here, man?
Yeah, oh, he's got a little bird. That's what it is. It's like a little chickadee, it sounds like.
I was going to put him over here in a bush here once. Let him dry off.
One flew
can
off.
fly, can't they?
One did.
3 of them did. There's no more in the water, is there? Poor things. Go over there, little buddy.
Had a man ask me the other day, he said, when are you going to retire? I said, son, I've been retired for years. What are you talking about? This is retirement. I used to work for a living.
All right, well, we've reached the point now where time is starting to become very, very important. And I think Charlie Reed, amongst the boats we've been following here today on Lake Kerr, is the only pro who can be really secure for next week's finals. And Boogie Atkins, we've only seen him catch 2 fish, one of them pretty good, about 4 pounds. He's our top amateur as far as we know.
And most of these guys have been flipping worms and flipping lizards, but Robbie Graham here is stuck with a spinnerbait all day long. Him and in another boat, Marty Stone, is throwing us a spinnerbait quite a bit. Boy, it paid off for Robbie right here. Most of the guys are flipping, though, in pretty deep water.
Robert Graham and Boogie Atkins. Robert Graham now with 4 fish out there. Boogie still has his 2 fish. And Robert, are you getting better looking all the time, or are you starting to get desperate for that 5th bite?
I'm starting to have to work for it, Tommy. I just switched up and come out here on the main lake on a point. It's a lot of rocks, and just trying to get that one more fish.
One more fish on. Are you staying pretty much on the plan that you had mapped out for yourself today, or are you doing it all by instinct now pretty much?
I'm staying pretty much what I've been doing the last 2 days, but I've beat it up so much. I've changed up to a little bit different area. I moved out farther, and I've got in some stained water. My stuff where I was catching was really cleared up a lot, and I didn't like the looks of that, and I come out here.
Hey, Robert, describe the spinnerbait you're fishing with.
Well, I'm fishing with a 3/4 ounce hog collar. I got a number 5 willow on the back and number 4 on the front. But the big key is I'm putting a Zoom fluke trailer on the back of it. So these bait fish are long and slim. I think they're spawning right now in the trees and stuff, and that's one of the big deals that's key in these fish.
Boogie Atkins, does 2 fish feel safe at all to you right now, or you really need to put some more in the box?
I need to put some more in the boat. I haven't had but just 2 bites today, and lucky enough to catch both of them, but it's been tight other than that.
God, man, I missed.
All right. I think I'm gonna stay on the birch trees the rest of the day, man. I think one more ought to do it, probably. It's another 3-pounder, so it probably gives me about over 10 pounds for sure.
10 pounds is very competitive today, although we've seen days in the past where that's not that big a number.
Boy, that's right, and I know these guys are a little disappointed. They're expecting 15, 18 pounds, but maybe Randy has finally got it figured out.
That's what's fun in bass fishing, when you really get it down, the subtle part of it, where you know exactly what to look for. You can just look up ahead of you and tell when you got a good chance to get a bite. That's probably the best thing that happened this morning when I went up there in my first area and it was covered up with a bunch of people. I mean, that was probably the best thing, because I may have stayed up there all day long and not caught much. But it really forced me out of there at the right time. So it's pretty cool.
Well, cool for Randy Blockett, who may be on his way to some cool cash. Not as cool today for Davey Hyde and his partner, Mr. Putnam. There, our top 2 qualifiers from the first 2 days.
And, you know, we just have to say one more time that this high water causes so many problems. You know, it suddenly gives the fish 1,000 more places to hide, and, you know, there's fish around as we move back over to Blockett, don't we? And there's so much more area for the fish to hide that it just makes it a little bit tougher.
Randy Blockett scores again there.
That's it.
All right. That may do it, unless they just absolutely kill them today. But you never know. I mean, everybody could be catching 4-pounders instead of 3-pounders, but that's probably about 14 pounds conservative. Anyway. After a slow start, I didn't have a bite for like the first 3 hours this morning. That's the thing that really tests you mentally as a fisherman, being able to recoup after starting out slow.
This is a big lake, and there are 10 boats out there who need to be on their way home.
Don't you let us be late.
It's 2:30 p.m., 8 hours after our takeoff. Went by really quickly, and now a short trip back to our weigh-in tent, which is actually at the Henderson, North Carolina Walmart parking lot. We'll get down to business.
We got a good crowd today.
I think they're kind of pros in disguise, I think is what's going on with these guys right over here.
Boogie Atkins got to have 2 pounds and 15 ounces.
Tommy Sanders and Charlie Evans are handling the weigh-in.
Here we go.
On the amateur side has Quentin Stacy in the lead with 3 pounds and
fish.
6 ounces.
Two fish, and we'll see what that weighs. Hold still, guys. Gonna let them calm down real quick here. 4 pounds, 5 ounces. Boogie Atkins is in the game. We're down to 2 guys now. No. Ooh, could be something extraordinary. Oh no. Oh my God. Ron, what? Is that it? That's it? No more fish. I tell you what. Another guy who's done the impossible, made the top 10 twice out of the back of the boat. You got to tell us now how you did it.
I just watch the pro, like I said a while ago, and just work hard. Don't stop.
We know who the champ is, our non-boater champ. I want you to hold your applause. Let's see if he's got any more fish back there. That's it. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. Boogie Atkins is your non-boater champion. I want you to give him a big hand. $15 grand. We asked you yesterday, we pulled Boogie aside and we asked him, you know, how much it takes money-wise to come up here and spend 6 days and fish and pay your entry fee and all that. And he gave us a figure, but you're going to be able to afford to do that for a long time now.
Yeah, like I said, the fish I had today, I didn't think I had a chance. I figured, you know, limit, you know, everybody that's, you know, fishing today was real good and consistent, but I didn't think, you know, what I had would even get a, you know, be in the top 5. So, I mean, I'm surprised.
And Fujifilm helps us look back on the catch of the day and the catch of a lifetime for young Boogie Atkins. Boogie is 21 years old. 30 years his elder is Charlie Reed, one of today's top qualifiers.
Charlie Reed, he weighed in a total of 27 pounds and 10 ounces over the last 2 days. Charlie, let's pick that one fish out there and have a quick look at her. What a fish. Pull that one out of there and show everybody what we're fishing for out there. Look at this right here. Wow, isn't that beautiful? That is great. Now put her in there, Charlie. You got the limit in there. Set them on the scales. Charlie Reed is going to set the mark to beat today. 5 fish in the weight. 20 pounds and 15 ounces. 2015. Boy, what a day out there. I mean, over 20 pounds. We only had, I think, 1 stringer all week long over 20 pounds. So you were really, you're on them.
I kind of outdone myself, didn't I?
I think you did just exactly right. You feel pretty confident you're in for tomorrow.
I hope so. I hope I didn't beat them up too bad. I just got one small area, and I may have got on them a little bit too hard, but I felt I had to. I felt there's going to be a lot of fish come in, and I had to have them. I knew it. So I took maybe at 10:30. I had these fish. Then I did try to branch out a little bit and find something else, and I didn't. So I've got to depend on these fish again tomorrow.
Oh, that's a good fish.
I know it is.
Oh, gosh, yeah, you get right now, Charlie.
That's top 5.
Yes, sir.
That's top 5.
You better, I say, bud.
Now we'll wipe out all the weight, and these 5 guys will start back out tomorrow, and they'll go out fishing for a $100,000 first place prize in boat number 5 from Mooresville, North Carolina. Robert Graham, come on up, Bob. You're in the $100,000 hunt. Starting out in boat number 4 from Gainesville, Florida, Shaw Brixby. In boat number 3, Dwayne Horton from Knoxville, Tennessee. In boat number 2 from Joplin, Missouri, Randy Blockett. And the man to beat from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, Charlie Reed. Again, I want to remind you, we got lots of things going on tomorrow. Do whatever you do, come back. Don't miss the weigh-in. Bring all your friends. God bless you. Have a good afternoon.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices. Always. By Ranger Boats. Still building legends one at a time. By Johnson Fast Strike 150 with fixed fuel injection. And by Chevy, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road.
Hello? Hey, Mom, what are you doing? Oh, I had it on speaker. I didn't know if it was working or not. You couldn't hear me? Oh. Yeah, you're saying, yeah, I could hear you. So. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go down the road. Well, I lost one fish today. Yeah. But, no, I want it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I want it. Yeah, first place. 15,000. Yeah, it still feels like a dream. Yeah.
Boy, it must feel like a dream. The young Boogie Atkins from Greenville, Virginia. He'll continue his phone call home there. We'll go outside the tent and try to pick up Randy Blockett, who did such a great job of figuring out these changing conditions today. Maybe get it.
Wait, we're not. We may not have this in
something the matter. Now we're going to mic him up and see if we can get a quick word in.
He's lost his boat.
What?
Your boat?
Huh?
Yeah. Do you just like lose a boat when that happens? You like forfeit your boat?
That's never happened to me before, I'm not sure.
It's kind of unusual, you know. These type of guys don't lose their boat.
Well, you lose fish and you get mad. You must really get mad when you lose a boat.
I have nothing, man. It must have went downwind there somewhere. Hey, if you see my boat out there somewhere, Rick, could you snag it? I don't know where it went. It drifted off somewhere.
Well, we're out of time. I guess no interview with Randy Blockett today.
I'm out of here, too. I'll see you next week. I'm going to go out to the point and help him find that boat.
We'll see plenty of Randy Blockett next week. He's fishing against a tough field in the finals here on Kerr Reservoir. Next week on the Walmart FLW Tour.
It must have went around the point there somewhere.